Coming up in the show, action from Tenerife as we review the 2018 Women's World Cup. Everything you need to know about the tournament from the groups to the final. And we'll also look at the top 5 plays from the event. We start our review of the group stage in Group D, and with the stars of the USA. They started the defence of their title against Senegal, but didn't have it all their own way early on.
Traore gets her in the air, going baseline, and one. Going to take the early three.
But from then on, it was plain sailing for the Americans. 19 points from Elena Delle Donne, helping them to a comfortable 20-point win. Meanwhile, China got off to the perfect start with a closely fought 64-61 victory over Latvia. The two victorious teams in the group met on game day 2 as the United States took on China.
Blocks, and they'll get the ball as it came off of Wang Se-yu.
This game was more straightforward for the champions. They went into the lead early on and never gave it up. Brianna Stewart driving them to a 12-point win. Senegal made history in their clash with Latvia, picking up their first ever World Cup victory.
Oh, and a great play by Traore. Ian gets inside, C drives and puts Senegal ahead.
Yeah, that was our final. We never beat any European team in the World Cup. That's why we wanted to do it today. And then the girls understand that this is historic. It's historic for Senegal.
And on the final game day in the group, the USA took on Latvia, with the European side playing for pride, knowing they couldn't make it to the next round. There was a predictable outcome in the clash, the USA dominating to take the victory and send the Latvians home without a win. Meanwhile, Senegal couldn't build on their historic performance in their game with China. They slipped to a 9-point loss. But it didn't stop the celebrations as they progressed to the quarter-final qualifiers. So there was little surprise to see the USA top the group and progress to the quarter-finals. China and Senegal went into the quarter-final qualifiers. Host Spain kicked off their World Cup campaign in Group C with a clash with Japan. They dominated the early proceedings, feeding off the home crowd to open up an 18-point halftime lead.
Oh, talk about spin cycle. Uvina.
Japan fought back in the third, but that wasn't enough. Spain getting their competition off to a perfect start. Belgium made a statement in their opening game. A double-double from Emma Messerman helped them to a monster 50-point win over Puerto Rico.
Wraps it around. Messerman is the recipient.
But the Belgians weren't so dominant in their next game as they came up against Japan. They struggled against the Asia Cup champions and eventually fell to defeat.
Faye with the three is good.
Thanks to 26 points from Maki Takada.
Wow, look at that.
Pass from Takada.
If we were to lose our first 2 games with such a young team, I think, maybe their confidence would start to lag a little bit. So today, I think we really needed to get a win.
Spain had no such issues against Puerto Rico, handing the side from the Americas another comprehensive defeat. On game day 3, Japan clinched their second victory of the tournament to overcome Puerto Rico and send their opponents out at the group stage. But the game of the day came between Belgium and Spain, with both teams competing for that automatic place in the quarter-finals. Spain knew a win would be enough, while the Belgians needed an 8-point victory to guarantee them a quarter-final spot.
Oh, they find Emma Messerman
Belgium dominated throughout and looked set to get the victory margin they needed, until a Spanish fight back in the fourth quarter put them back in the driving seat. It meant Belgium needed a basket with just over a second left to play.
Oh, they got the basket! Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? They have come up with a play to finish first.
I was looking in the books of the history. I think the last win against Spain was in '79. So that means 40 years ago, almost 40 years ago, when we can play like this against a strong team like that. So I'm very excited.
That dramatic win for Belgium saw them book a spot in the quarter-finals. Spain would have to play an extra game to join them. Group A started with a clash between France and Korea. The Europeans were favourites but were behind early on. Korea up by 5 at the end of the first.
Chance to run for Korea. They have numbers. 3-on-2 break. Wide open on the end. Dim can be for three. It's good.
That forced the French into action. They would dominate the rest of the game to clinch a 31-point win.
Johannes off the staggered screen for a pretty two.
Canada had Greece first up and they made things look simple. A big win to start their campaign off in style.
Chalma hands it off. A beautiful pass again in his Rankake-Kunwe. And the Canadians have come out and just impressed.
They followed that up with another comfortable victory over Korea on game day 2.
Bam, bam, bam! She is on fire. She is.
While France were made to work by Greece. 20 points from Ndine Miam helping them squeeze past their European counterparts.
Almost a steal. Miam puts France back in front.
Mia might be the clutch player here down the end of the stretch for France.
Well, she has been, without question.
Greece and Korea went into their game day 3 clash knowing it was winner takes all, with the victor moving on to the quarter-final qualification round. And at the half, it looked like it would be Korea who would progress. They went into the break with a 3-point lead.
Lets the three go, and the bank is open here on Monday afternoon.
But in the second half, powered by Artemis Spanu, the Greeks staged a comeback, outscoring Korea by 13 in the third to clinch victory and progress.
Greece will progress to the playoff for the quarterfinals. They win it 58-48.
Then came the game of the group as France and Canada squared off to see who would take the automatic quarter-final berth.
In recent years, this has become one of the biggest clashes of world and Olympic basketball.
And when France went 13 points up in the first, things were looking good for Valerie Garnier's side.
Finds up the three and just buries it.
But they were then outscored by the Canadians in the remaining 3 quarters. Mainly thanks to the shooting of Kia Nurse.
And Nurse just knocks down the first three for her for the game.
The 71-60 win seeing the Canadians book their quarter-final spot. It meant France and Greece progressed to the quarter-final qualifiers, while Korea made an early trip home. Group B started off with one of the performances of the tournament. Australia's Liz Cambridge dominated Nigeria in the first game of the group.
Not in my house, says Cambridge.
She had 34 points and 12 rebounds in the 86-68 victory. It was a sign of things to come. There was also a comfortable win for Turkey over Argentina as they got their campaign off to the perfect start.
She is again, Shalar.
The Argentines were the next team to feel the force of Australia and Cambridge on game day 2.
Hooks it back with the left hand for 2.
This time, the centre picked up 24 points as the South Americans struggled to deal with her. She was supported by 16 points from Sammy Whitcomb as the Opals put down an early marker as one of the teams to beat in Tenerife. Elsewhere, there was a historic clash between Nigeria and Turkey in the other game of the day.
Hollingsworth deep. Goes up with a little fadeaway jump shot for 2. That's got 2-on-1 break. Oh, get out of
22 points from Sarah Ogoke and a double-double from Evelyn Akator, helping Nigeria to a 74-68 victory, the first time they've ever beaten a European opponent.
We kind of had a point to prove. I know I did personally coming out today that Nigeria is more than what people expect.
Liz Cambridge was at it again on game day 3 as Australia took on Turkey.
Cambridge again puts it up and in.
She had another huge game, racking up 25 points to see Australia pick up another comfortable victory. And Nigeria went into their clash with Argentina knowing a win would see them confirm their progression from the group stage.
Look at the bounce pass. Oh, the Tigress. Looking good.
On the back of another double-double from Evelyn Akator, they pulled off a stunning win. The 75-70 victory seeing them write another page into the history books. The Liz Cambridge-powered Australia sealed top spot in the group and their place in the quarter-finals. Nigeria and Turkey progressed to the quarter-final qualifiers, while Argentina went home. Coming up in part 2, we recap the knockout stages in Tenerife. A look at who made the tournament's All-Star 5. And we count down the top 5 plays. Looking to overcome the heartbreak of their last loss to Belgium, Spain took on Senegal in the quarter-final qualifiers. And it was the Senegalese who got off to a bright start, stunning the Tenerife crowd.
But so far, it's like everybody's kind of making some plays here, and this is a dangerous Senegal team.
However, Spain mounted a comeback, and the hosts overpowered Senegal to record a 63-48 victory.
We knew it that Senegal, they are always fighting till the end, and also it was an important game for us.
Nigeria had already made history in Tenerife with their wins in the group stage, and they were looking to make even more when they took on Greece.
Maltzy with a real great read is blocked.
And following a tight game, it all came down to the final minute and one of the most dramatic endings of the tournament.
Mar in the lane, misses. And there's a foul on the play with 3.2 seconds to go. 1-point game for Nigerians.
Nigeria held on to win 57-56 and became the first African nation to qualify for the quarterfinals of a World Cup.
I'm so happy for this group of girls because we believe we came here as the underdog, and we just came in here and we're just working and we're just having fun while we're trying our best to continue to make history.
China and Japan faced off knowing that one Asian side would make it through to the quarterfinals, and they had 40 minutes to find out who it would be.
Oh, they get the quick release on the 3 and just knock it down.
There was little between the sides at the break, leaving it all to play for in the second half.
Takada feels some contact, is blocked.
In the end, it was China who booked their spot in the last 8 with an 87-81 win. While in the all-European tie between France and Turkey, it was the French who progressed, defeating the Turks 78-61. The quarterfinals threw up some interesting matchups, none more than tournament favourites the USA against underdogs Nigeria.
You'd always like to play the best in the world, and we're not looking just to be here. We want to try to win.
And early on, it looked as if the Nigerian fairy tale could continue. They were 8 points up at the end of the first.
Immobile, good! Punch out!
We know that Nigeria is not going to sit down and allow us to just walk over them.
But that was as good as things got for the African side, the US dominating the remaining 3 quarters to send them through with a comfortable 31-point win.
Well, here's the dump, and what about that? Talking about the 2 players, there they are just toying with the defense.
Australia were also looking to book a semi-final berth as they came up against China, and there was a familiar name dominating proceedings.
Goodness me, has she elevated her play in this World Cup. She has come out today.
Liz Cambridge led her team with 20 points, 9 rebounds and 3 blocks to see off China and progress to the last 4.
And look at Cambridge going up strong. 20-7. She is
lowering the boom here.
I'm very happy we're moving on to the next stage.
We were guaranteed to see one European side in the semi-finals as France took on Belgium.
Alamand from deep, and that three-pointer.
At half-time, it looked like Belgium would be the team progressing, holding a 22-point lead.
I think we played a great first half, but it's not over because we knew the French team, they can bounce back really well.
And now Johannes up to Bernice, and you can feel the comeback coming.
But despite a small third-quarter comeback, that French bounce never came, meaning the Belgians kept their fairy tale tournament going. So would host Spain be joining the teams in the semi-finals? They took on Canada to find out.
Spain trying to be the first team here to advance after having to go through the qualification for the quarterfinals.
In a tight contest, the Canadians were ahead by 3 going into the fourth before Spain took control.
Casas banks in another one. This game is starting to get away from Canada now.
They outscored the Canadians by 18 in the final quarter to seal the win and that semi-final spot.
We knocked out a medal contender team. We are now within the top 4 teams of the world yet again. This is amazing.
Playing in front of a passionate home crowd, Australia entered the Lions' den when they took on Spain for a place in the World Cup final. The hosts knew that the key to winning was containing centre Liz Cambage, but it was easier said than done.
And Ebsbury misses, but Cambage there to clean up the mess.
Australia raced to a 23-15 lead in the first quarter, but Spain were far from finished.
Indoor three-pointer. Spain have taken the lead.
They held a slender 35-34 advantage at half-time. The Spanish increased their lead by 8 in the third, but Cambage wasn't going to be denied.
Ebsbury inside to Cambage, and just like that, Australia back to within 1. The ball batted into the hands of Cambage. A bit of good luck. Unbelievable.
Her staggering 33-point haul helped Australia defeat Spain 72-66 and qualify for their first World Cup final since 2006.
Very happy. This was such a hard game tonight. You know, Spain, such a tough team on their home court, so just happy to get the win.
Facing Australia would be the winners of the other semi-final between Belgium and reigning champions USA. And it was the Eurobasket bronze medalists who came out firing.
Belgium playing like they are possessed right now.
They ended the first quarter 5 ahead. However, US veteran Diana Taurasi had seen enough.
Taurasi again, good. Uh-oh, she's having one of those games. Taurasi for 3, good, another one. She lives for moments like this, folks.
She ended the game with 26 points, helping the USA to a 93-77 victory and ease into their third consecutive World Cup final.
Our challenge was to keep them in front and try to put a lot of points on the scoreboard because defensively, they truly gave us a run for our money.
A bronze medal was on the line in the penultimate game of the tournament, as Spain were out for revenge against Belgium, who beat the hosts in a dramatic group stage encounter. The European nations were evenly matched as the first quarter ended 15 apiece. But Spain began to pull away in the second.
Wide open, Jorgai right corner!
And they were up by 5 at half-time. Marta Jarget had an inspired performance.
Jorgai in the lane, good!
Her 17 points on the night helped Spain finish third overall in front of their adoring home crowd.
It's just amazing to win a medal here at home with our people in this atmosphere. And after a month and a half of a lot of work, what more can you ask for?
The showpiece in Tenerife saw the defending champions USA come up against the last team not dressed in red, white and blue to lift the World Cup, Australia.
It is the moment of truth. Which team between these two traditional heavyweights is going to finish top of the podium and capture the world title?
it should be somewhat of an interesting match in that we're both playing some of our best basketball.
We have to make sure that we're putting a lot of pressure on him and making him take contested shots all for 40 minutes.
The USA came in as big favourites, but there were early signs they may not have it all their own way.
Swatted by Cambage.
But they soon found their rhythm. Diana Taurasi and Brianna Stewart making back-to-back three-pointers.
Taurasi on the break, and it's a quick 6-0 lead for the USA.
But the Opals were hanging on, trailing by 5 in the first and ending the half 8 behind. They went into the locker room knowing gold was still within reach.
We said the first 5 minutes will decide if it's going to be a 20-point blowout or we're going to stay in the game. So hopefully we're staying in the game.
In the third, however, Coach Brondello's fears came true.
Taurasi right off the bench.
Some unstoppable offense from Brittany Griner and Sue Bird dominated the Australians, and they ended the third 23 points behind.
Griner fought through the block and made the shot.
With the USA on top, Australia found their rhythm in the fourth, but by then it was too little too late.
73-56. I mean, the USA, they got on top early. Australia came back. This Cambage never really got it going. And it was because of that, really, that they did not seriously challenge this USA team in this final.
The USA making it a third consecutive world title in dominant fashion.
You really just want to cherish these moments, so I'm just trying to take it all in, really soak it in, and truly enjoy that this is a very tough tournament. And, you know, for us to be able to put it together and win, it says a lot about the character of this group, and I couldn't be prouder.
So the USA were crowned the best team in Tenerife. But who were the best players? Americans Brianna Stewart and Diana Taurasi. Astu Ndor of Spain, Australia's Liz Cambage, and Belgian centre Emma Messerman were all named in the tournament's All-Star 5. And here's why.
The USA are going to start things off. Delivering to Messerman. Taurasi. Uh-oh. Messerman goes right to work and scores and puts it in. Jorgai gets swatted by Cambage. Now Messerman steps out even further. 3. Decides to go right at Cambage and gets rejected. Not in my house, says Cambage.
He's blocked.
Taurasi right off the bench. Cambage. Oh, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
We've seen some great plays across the tournament. Here are the top 5.
And there, Johannes gets it inside to Mia. Here's Sanchez. Good. Look at that. Talk about contributions from the bench. Little shake and bang, goes baseline, puts it up, put it on the highlight reel.
Chu has it high, so Xiaoting spins. Oh!
That was another highlight move.
Alemán this time delivering to Messerman.
So that's our wrap-up of a sensational Women's World Cup. We'll be back to do it again in 4 years' time.
Put it on the highlight reel. Oh, Oh, the spin cycle again from Shelty. Not in my house. Oh, they go to Busman. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Swatted by Cambage.
Boyd gets in and scores.
Did you see that shot?
From start to finish, it's been an exciting, memorable FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup.